Good morning and welcome back to 501c TV. I'm your host, Janelle Harris, and this is the podcast that talks to system change leaders, thought leaders, nonprofits, and nonprofit partners. And this morning, I am very excited to have in studio with me Tom Rivera with the XCEL Mentoring Network. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
I'm so excited to have you. I know I talked to your wife offline a couple weeks ago, and what you guys are doing is really awesome, very groundbreaking, very needed. So we're going to get into all these things. It's a different kind of mentoring, like as we were talking about. There's a lot of mentoring type of organizations here in South Florida.
Yes.
I think you guys have a lot of unique things going for you that I want to make sure everyone knows about because it's really important.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
So, welcome. And let's talk about you and your wife actually run the XCEL Mentoring Network.
Yes, we started about 5.5 years ago.
Okay.
And we started with 3 kids. It was something that was presented to me. A very good friend of mine said, "You got to meet this guy. He's doing this in Savannah, Georgia, and he's looking to bring someone else on for South Florida."
Okay.
And so we got on the phone. 2 days later, we're on a plane, meeting everyone in Savannah, and we're like family. And so we've outgrown here in South Florida our mentoring initiative, and so they've asked us to go ahead and become an affiliate. So now we're an independent organization.
That's so awesome.
Still under the umbrella, of course. We're still very close to them, but it's been amazing how we started with 3 kids in Tamarind. If anyone knows where Tamarind is, that's where I first started.
That?
That's downtown West Palm Beach, the Tamarind Avenue area.
Oh, okay.
And I went into the park there, and that's where I started.
Really? That's interesting. Tell me about that.
Well, a friend of mine
And
that
were
I know,
you and your wife both retired at the time?
Yes.
I forget what Maribel told me.
Yes, so we retired basically to come here, and I'm a master trainer. I was a bodybuilder for many years.
Okay, we need to just put this out here. If Tom looks familiar to you, it's because he is Mr. Puerto Rico, 1987.
Yeah.
Really cool.
My board says 1949, but they say that joking.
That's so funny.
Well, I
awesome.
became a coach to many young people here, and so I was mentoring already in that. I was in that field mentoring, not realizing what I was doing.
Right. You were you were already doing all the groundwork to set you up for this opportunity.
And I didn't know. I had an hour
cool.
to really speak into somebody's life and tell them, "Hey, listen, I can help you get here, here." And when my friend called me, he said, "Tom, I want you to meet this guy. This guy's doing great work, and he really would love to have somebody like you. You're already doing it in the gyms."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, let's look at it."
Yeah, no, why not?
And it worked out. I became the regional director. My wife came on board to help me continue to do this work. And we've grown leaps and bounds. And then for the next thing I knew is the YMCA director said, "Hey, Tom, why don't you come out and do just an introduction to 101 basic training."
That's so cool.
At the YMCA. And we filled the gym because he announced, "Former Mr. Puerto Rico, come
Oh my gosh, yes.
And so it was crazy.
That's
and from
so
there,
fun.
most of those kids are still with us in our program and have graduated
Okay.
and moved on to their careers.
Because what's the age that you're trying to hit here?
Well, we started 15 to 25. We've
Okay.
added now 13.
Okay.
Okay, because we are getting a lot of kids from foster care,
Right.
the foster care system. As we grew, the Pal Sheriff's Department came on board, and before I knew, we had 15 more of those kids.
That's awesome.
And it just kept growing and growing. But at the core, what we really do is mentor. And we have a mentoring initiative that is second to none. It's to teach these kids. We put them on a track system, setting their goals. And I know you're going to ask me these questions.
No,
possibly.
you're good.
I'm already
You're
ahead
already
of
going through
myself.
my list, which is perfect because I know it's a very comprehensive kind of program that you have. And I actually love the first one, which I wrote down, which is you have 8 sessions on character building, which I think is huge because that's kind of the foundation for everything.
Yeah.
If you don't have the character and you know, the qualities to succeed in these programs,
Right.
why
so
do the program?
when we teach them goal setting, we want them to understand that character has a lot to do with that.
Correct.
Integrity has a lot to do with that. Caring for others has a lot to do with that.
Right.
Empowering others has a lot to do with that, right? And helping others reach their purpose in life. Because if you just make it about yourself, your dream is only going to go as far as you go.
Correct.
When you add people to that and build relationships, and this is what we teach them, then guess what? Your dreams can go as not only as far as you go, but even further, because you can move on. Let's say you pass on, someone else will take that vision and move with it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we try to teach them. And we teach them to fuel those dreams with purpose. Because without purpose, you're basically doing nothing.
Absolutely.
And most of the kids do not know most of the time what to do. So what we have mobile units that we have designed to teach architectural design, simulated welding. We teach them carpentry, plumbing, and it's really more of an introduction. And we've gotten kids that never had any hope, that didn't have anything, any goals, any dreams. Put a tool in their hand, it just changes the child's life. And it's like, wow, this is working. And once you discover that that child wants to get into a career trade, then we then backtrack and say, okay, let's work on your life skills.
Correct.
Because without life skills, you're going to throw your career away.
Correct. And I think this is so cool because, again, you know, you and I were just talking, these kids, a lot of them, they don't have a support system in place. They don't have a cheerleader looking at them saying, you can do this. Like, this is a real thing that you can actually do. So to have you guys here and say, hey, have you ever thought about this? No, I never thought about carpentry. It exposes them to so much more than just, I'm in my classroom in high school and, you know, I'm taking my classes that I need to graduate. And then what? Then what?
Then what? So
then what do you do?
So national statistics say that most kids that go into college after 2 years drop out, 40%.
Right.
So we want to, you know, bridge that gap with secondary education. If we can introduce secondary education to them, they can still go to college if that's what they want, but at least they can still continue to pursue a trade or a career opportunity. So that's what we try to put in front of them. And then some of them have done it the opposite way. They go into their career trade, and then they go back to college for engineering.
Totally, yeah. Which is awesome.
The companies that hire them say, hey, listen, I want to put them through college. We have a student right now, came out of a charter school, female, Haitian girl, phenomenal. She started with us. My wife mentored her.
Yeah, I think I remember Maribel telling me about her. It's such a cool story.
Marie's her name. She works now for Hedrick Construction as an architectural designer. And she learned through our mobile units. We have an engineer that actually introduces this trade to them, and kids love to design, and they're artists.
Yeah.
So we want to pull the best out of them. So if that's what you want to do, okay, we want to help you do that.
And so one thing that I think is really interesting about the name, so it's not just XCEL Mentoring, it's XCEL Mentoring Network. And I think that the word network is so important because what you just said, you guys have a ready-made kind of group of companies out there. And this is so important. Companies that will work with you because they know that you're solid, you're reputable, and that you have this important program in place that works, that these kids are going through. So for them to then look at you and say, hey, we have openings here.
Right.
We know that your kids are going through this program. Let's hook up and get the right kids in the right programs. To have that network already built for these kids, they would never have that anywhere else. Like, where would they find that?
And what I love about the network that we have is that many of them want to continue to mentor them while they're in their careers.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to leave that out.
Correct.
You know, because we've started something. And so when I meet with the companies that want to bring them up, I ask them, listen, would you continue to mentor them in the skills?
Right. It's not just about hiring them and then...
Right.
And
we don't want to feed.
Talk about it again.
If you want a body, no, that's not what we want.
Correct.
We have kids that have life skills. They know the boundaries they're supposed to live by. They know how to be on time. Yeah. They know how to take care of their health. They know what type of relationships they should have.
Right.
They live on a budget sheet. They have relational intelligence. They put a team around them of other kids that are pursuing the same thing. But they already have that goal in place. And so we want to teach them job skills, conflict resolution. Nowadays, kids don't know how to deal with conflict.
Right.
So we teach them not to debate. Let's deliberate.
Yeah.
And let's find a happy medium.
Right.
So this is how we continue to train our kids to understand that you're going to run into this out there in the workplace.
And this is how you handle it.
And this is how you're going to be different. and you're the one who's going to stand out. You're the one who's going to get the promotion.
Yeah.
So this is what it's working, and the county loves it. We have now a Level Up program that we have over 93 kids in our program.
So cool.
That 90% are now getting out of probation and into the next grade level and moving into an opportunity with us. And then there's others that parents sent us. We have others that we get through the Y, or we get through Pal Sheriff's Department or charter schools.
Right.
And so we have all different types of kids that come through our program. So nobody gets kicked out. You can't do anything to get kicked out.
You're like, we're not going to let you.
We're not letting you go
fail.
that easy.
Yeah,
No,
I got you.
But I messed up. It's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to give you grace.
Yeah. Everyone makes mistakes.
Everybody makes mistakes. And we want to use that as a learning experience.
Absolutely.
And teach them with that experience that they go through.
So let's back up a little bit and tell me about these. I'm like fascinated with these mobile units, because I feel like, if you guys ever know, like my kids are obsessed with these game trucks, right? Like you go in and you game in the gaming truck.
Yeah.
These mobile units are so cool, right? Because so tell me which what areas are in the mobile units. Was there welding in one of them?
Yes, so we have welding. We have simulated welding.
That's what I remember.
Yes.
This is so
Which
cool.
this Saturday I'll be at the Palm Beach State here in an event, kids event. I'm bringing it out just so the kids
They're
can
going to freak out when they
try
see that.
the welding, and nobody gets burned.
Right, because it's
But
all 3D. So you put the thing on,
Yes.
you hold the thing,
Yeah,
and then
you hold the thing, right.
What
And
else?
it's
The
great.
shields. This is why I'm not a welder.
And then you get scored at the end.
so cool.
So what I found is females are phenomenal at
Really?
it.
Is it
I've
because
taken-
they're like steady and meticulous and
Yes, guys.
detail-oriented?
The guys get mad because they're scoring 38, and the girls are scoring 97 and 98
That would be
because
my
they're
boys.
more steadier.
Yeah.
So it teaches them how to, actually do it properly. And then we do have welding where we take it outside and they actually do the
Got it.
actual welding.
So now with the kids that you work with, I think I remember having this conversation about the mobile units are so important, because half the battle of getting kids in these type of programs is they can't get to some other location, right?
Right.
They don't have a ride, they don't drive,
Right.
they don't have a family member that can get them there. So you guys kind of take these to a place where
Right.
you can serve as many people as
Yes,
possible.
and we do have a program where we can Uber some kids, and we have vans where we can pick them up and bring them out. But these events are phenomenal because we can take them. We can take these mobile units wherever the road takes us.
Right.
And we
Which
can
is so
park
cool.
them at any school, any church,
Yep.
parking lot.
And how many do you have?
We have 2 right now. We're
Okay.
building the next one. It'll be an electrical.
Oh, that's so cool.
With virtual goggles where they can get 64 modules and become a pre-apprentice.
Yeah.
And we have a journeyman that we're bringing on board now. He wants to become a mentor. He doesn't
I'm
want to
sure.
continue to do it. He wants to teach our kids.
Oh gosh, I love
So
that.
just
Give me the
imagine at
chills.
if you're in 11th grade and you in 12th grade, you already have a pre-apprenticeship already completed by the time you finish high school.
That's amazing.
And you're going to go right into your career with a journeyman as a helper, making $20 an hour. That's not bad.
That's awesome.
And you have a career you're pursuing. Plus, we put them in school
Right.
at North Tech,
Okay.
right off of Blue Heron there. And so they get both. So they
Right.
get their apprenticeship and they get the school all at the same time. And it doesn't cost them anything because the companies are sponsoring them for coming in.
Right.
As long as they're coming out of our program, they will sponsor them.
Which is, I mean,
That's a win-win for everyone there.
this is why I'm like obsessed with your company, because I think this is so cool. It's just it's an awesome recipe. It is, and it's just unique in the fact that, like we said here, I have written down here, you guys do these certifications, but then there's such a bigger path after that, because like I said, you guys aren't just like a mentoring company that you mentor and then it's like, okay,
You're
now
on your
turn
way.
you loose and
No.
hope,
No.
sink or swim, like hope you take these skills and do something with it. You guys already have a path laid out for them. The apprenticeship is huge. And like I said, we were talking off camera a little bit. I don't think kids for sure, do not understand the unique opportunity in all of the skilled trades right now. They don't read a business journal to know that there is a huge shortage of skilled workers, which means it's really lucrative if you can get in that spot and get in a right.
And there's so much
spots.
work here.
There's so much work.
There's so much building going on everywhere.
in
We
South
get
Florida for
calls all the
sure.
time. Can you send me a guy? Can you send me a person? And I tell the kids now, we're starting to teach them how to business administration part, because a lot of them want to have their own plumbing companies. They want to
Yes.
have their own electrical
I
companies.
love a good entrepreneur.
So that is big for us because we want to see that happen.
For sure.
Because there'll be a hiring some of our kids because they've gone through our program.
It's just the continuing circle of just so good for just the community as a whole, which is what your wife and I were talking about. Like, it's just a domino effect of like good stuff.
If I can get you and probably put you somewhere where everyone can hear what you have to say.
Well, we will. We're gonna broadcast this out.
This is important because people need to hear what it really truly is happening in Palm Beach County.
Yeah, and I my husband sits on the board of a foster company that gives aid and help to foster care kids. So my heart is really anything with kids. Kids and animals are like where I'm like, oh my gosh, like what can I do? The whole thing with any kid, like not having a support system or somebody like cheerleading for them to tell them, you know, you can do this or these opportunities are out there. That's where I'm like, I can't handle it. It breaks my heart to know. And there's so many of them out there.
A ton of them.
There's just too many.
And they're aging out and then they have nowhere to go.
Yes.
That's another homelessness issue that we're going to be dealing with here in the near future. But any kid that's going to be in our program, we got to have them in a bed.
Absolutely.
You know, because they're working, they're going to school,
they're doing all the right things.
All the right things, and they finished their curriculum. Last year, I believe, in our Breakers event that we had for their summit, where they get a certificate for life skills.
Okay.
I believe there was about 15 of those foster care kids that have come out, and now.
It's the aging out.
It's
part
phenomenal.
That is like
see them in their white shirts and ties and dressed
so
up. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so we're excited. So we're gonna have that this year, but it'll be more in October, and then we're gonna really focus on our apprentice community kids that are in the apprenticeship part for
Tom,
November.
I have a question for you too. If I'm a company and I'm listening to this, because I have a lot of friends that are in small business type scenarios, some of them in construction and some of these other, what type of companies would you be looking for to get involved, and how would they get involved? If they said, you know what, I'm listening to this and I want our company to be able to do a program like this where we can do an apprenticeship, where we can get involved, where we can take some of these kids under our wing and lead them down the path so they can come work with us. What do they do? How do they get involved?
They can reach out to me, and they can email me at tom@excelflorida.com, or they can call me directly on my phone.
Okay.
My number's out there, 862-596-0850. I have no problem. Every kid in our program has my number. They know how to call me. I get texts constantly. But
Perfect.
You got to leave an open door for people, right? But these companies that are out there that are looking for good, reliable kids that have life skills, they need to reach out to us, and we would like to. Hopefully this year we have another 200 coming in. We have 1,000 waiting.
Kids?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, for mentoring.
You guys, come on.
So we need all the help we can get.
No kidding.
We need more funding to continue to build more trailers. This next trailer is the electrical. Then I have a simulation trailer that I want to build, which is to teach them how to drive a skid steer, backhoe, bulldozers. We're going to have them inside our trailers, and they'll be able to go in and they'll earn $60,000 a year going out here west, where they're tearing down all the trees and building new communities.
Right, yes.
They're calling us because they need machine operators. So we want to train their kids to become machine operators and actually have a career, and they can make very good money and have a very good living.
I think that is so cool. So, you know, it just blows my mind again, because I'm like, it's such like just a circle of like good stuff. So I want, if anyone's listening here, to just really take it to heart and try to get involved, because why not?
Well, one way they can get involved is
generation.
May 11th we have our
let's talk about some of these events.
PGA National Golf. We're running out of whole sponsors, but we always need more.
Okay.
That'll be a PGA National on May 11th.
Is there a name to that, or is it just is this on your website?
XCEL Golf. Yeah, it'll be on our website and events, and you'll see we've sold quite a few packages there already.
Okay.
But we always need a few more to help us.
It.
And the kids, we'll have about 30 kids out there. They can get to meet. I'll have my mobile unit parked out there also.
That's so cool.
So you can walk through the mobile unit.
I want to come just for that mobile unit. I might give all this up and become, a welder or...
You never know. That's my wife.
Electrician.
She was always underneath the car with her dad, or she's putting up a brick
I
or
love
something.
that.
She's always loved it, and she's an educator. So she's amazing.
So this is it's like perfect. It was
It
like
really
so
is.
meant to be with both of you
Really
guys
is.
to end up here, which
Yes.
is so cool. All right, so we have the golf event. I know there's a lot of golfers out there, so please either buy a ticket to golf,
Please. We
sponsor,
need foursomes.
donate, get out there. It's always beautiful here in South Florida. And then you have a couple other things too. Let's talk about what's the annual summit at the Breakers.
That is the where we celebrate our kids.
That's the celebration of the
Yes,
kids.
yes.
And then the mentees recognition event.
That's
So-
in October.
Yeah, for all the
that's
mentors.
for their families, and because we found that a lot of them wanted to bring their families,
Yeah.
and it's so expensive to do it at the Breakers.
Yes.
So we don't want to turn anybody down.
Okay,
So we
gotcha.
want to have that separate for those that are finishing their life skills and getting their certificates, and then the apprenticeships are the ones that we really want to view this year.
Yeah.
We want to celebrate them because they're doing phenomenal work.
That's so cool.
It really is.
And it really is. It's awesome. You know, a lot of times people come to me and they say, you know, how else can I give back other than just writing a check, which writing a check is great. We need those people. We want to write checks.
Yes.
But if you can really, dive in and do something like an apprenticeship and really have that direct impact on.
Or take a kid on. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm
we
saying.
have a
That's so
volunteer
cool.
mentor. We need volunteer mentors right now. And so if you're interested in becoming a volunteer mentor, reach out to us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll send you the application. You get all that done. You got to do your fingerprints, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
your level 2 background check. And then we'll teach you the life skills that we're teaching the kids.
Right.
You get familiar with it so that when you meet them, you don't have to necessarily just come out with the curriculum. I have a guy the other day, he said, I took him fishing. And the smile on this kid's
I'm
face was
sure.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And this was a kid that was a tough kid. And he wanted a tough one. And he goes, now I'm going to start with his life skills.
Awesome.
So, you take him fishing, then all of a sudden he comes back, he wants to do his life skills. And that's what's important.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
I love it.
How do you win that child's heart?
For sure.
And that he trusts you.
Absolutely.
Because everybody else has left him behind.
I know. And
And
that's
it's
the
sad.
heartbreaking part. It
Yes.
is. So we
I
are
know.
almost out of time because
I figured.
this goes so fast. But what do you want to leave people with? What's the biggest takeaway that people can get out of this about
About
the
us
mentoring network?
and about the heart of
Yeah.
what we do, and my heart, and I believe my wife and all the staff, it's about the kids. It's all about the kids. It's not about us.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we leave some type of a mark on a child's life that they can say, I was mentored.
Yeah.
And here I am now today, a multimillionaire, and I have my own company because somebody believed in me. And I think that's
I love
so
that.
important because
There's going to be so many of those stories. I
Oh.
just know it.
we have so many. We don't have enough time to tell you all the stories
right.
because there's so many different stories that I can tell you. Just one in mind, and I'll leave it at this.
Yeah.
It's a young man. I won't mention his name because I shouldn't. He was going to FAU, taking a bus and a train every day. He kept coming out to my expos when I was having these trade expos. And one day I was building these beds for Vita Nova. They built a new building and they needed beds. And I said, why don't we build them? We rebuild them. We went out, we built them. The kids came out. We built some beautiful beds. And this one kid that kept coming to my events asked me, he goes, Mr. Tom, can I get in one of those? And I said, sure. What do you mean? He goes, I'm homeless.
Oh,
And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what? You've been coming to my event, you go to FAU.
yeah.
and you
Taking the bus and the
the
train and doing all these things.
He goes,
yeah.
yes, Mr. Tom, I've been homeless for a while. I said, well, not today. And I called over the CEO, Jeff Demaro, who's a very good friend of mine. I said, Jeff, I need this kid on one of these beds today. And I have a picture, I'll show you later, of him sitting on the bed he made that
Oh
day.
my goodness. That just gives me like,
And it was amazing to see his
That's
face.
awesome.
And he's turned out to be an amazing young man. An amazing young man. He's giving back now. He wants a mentor.
I'm
kid.
sure. I love that.
So
I'm sure you have, so many of these.
I have hundreds.
Tom's going to need to write a book.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I love it. Well, I really appreciate you joining us here today. Like I told you, it's just important for me that people know about things like this and how they can get involved because, especially in South Florida, there's so many like good things that are going on. So
Yes.
appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much. My first podcast.
You nailed
I hope
it.
I did well.
You nailed it. So we're going to put up the website. Tom has already graciously given us his phone number, so make sure if you want to get involved, please reach out and follow along with them online and check out all the awesome things that they're doing. The mobile units are awesome.
Yes.
I'm going to come around to an event just so I can get in and take a look because I think that's so cool. So
please do.
Thank you for all the good work you're doing here.
Thank you.
And we're going to look forward to watching you guys grow and do even more here in the next few years. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it for this time on 501c TV. Thank you for joining us. And again, a special thank you to Kana House Studios, Wellington's first and only social media content creation studio. And we'll see you next time on 501c TV. Thank you.